Well, we meet again. Charlie Greer podcast again. Duh. Today, we're going to talk about the Hollywood casting couch. Well, you don't say. It happens to everybody, man. So there's some kind of myth that it's only, a certain group of people. But no, it casts a long web, a long net. So I'm just going to start with the beginning. So I I wanted to start acting. I was actually in a band and living in Champaign, Urbana, and I started. I took some acting lessons. I was in theater in like junior high, but I took some acting lessons from this older one, and I was so. One of the times I could smell vodka on her, and she'd been drinking, and she's kind of hitting on me. But I mean, it wasn't necessarily there wasn't anything, tit for tat kind of, a trade. What it was just kind of, and at the time I was in love. I had a girlfriend. So that was the first, like, man, is it gonna, and I didn't say anything. I was, hey, I don't want to. And then when I moved to St. Louis in like '94, I did a commercial, a BC Powder commercial that ran for like 2 years in like the Midwest. And I did, a student film. I shot my own film, and then '98, I moved to LA, Hollywood proper, like, yeah, Hollywood, right now. And oh, how times have changed. Back then, I started, I was SAG eligible. So when I got there, I ended up getting anyway, I got into SAG, like, boom. Had to come up with money to do that. I sold my 72 Mustang Fastback to pay to get in the SAG. Because at the time, I think it was like 1,500, 18, 2 grand, something like that. I went from like a Mustang Fastback, like a big block muscle car, to a Volkswagen Fox, like a four-speed, four-cylinder. And that road dog, that, I mean, the reverse was out of it. But honestly, you driving around like I was, you need something small and kind of getting around. So I get there, going auditions, and back then it was these casting women. They were like older. They look like Stevie Nicks. They're wearing all these scarves and stuff. And I wouldn't even, I was getting, they would come on. I wouldn't do it. I just didn't want to mix my art with my sexuality. I just didn't think that I didn't want to do that, man. I didn't want to go down that road. For one, I just thought it was kind of like a urban myth, legend. No, you gotta. So I made it difficult on myself, I guess, being a good person. Just. And at the time, I was young. I didn't want to be sleeping with older ladies. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, someone very close to me, and I'm not going to say they were like, just get it over and do it. No. Not all of them. I'm not saying like every situation. There was a certain situation. And even then, they would not hold it against me. They got me work. Someone's like, okay, he did, but he could, Again, they have to cast. A lot of them were casting. This was before computers. There was headshots everywhere. And these casting women were awesome. They could, nothing was digital. And they had foresight. Oh, you're not right for this, but oh yeah, there's something coming up in a couple of weeks. And they would. It would. Then I got out of acting. I'd be in my band. See, I've always been in mode. Like I'm in acting mode. Then I'll switch gears. I'm in band mode. I'll switch gears. I'm in art mode. I'm painting. So there's been times where I'm in book mode. I got a book out, Rand of the Madman. You can Google that. Go to Amazon. But there was times where I would like some people. I mean, they knew I was in bands, but it depended on what mode or shift I was in that they would think I was just a painter. I was just an actor. He was a musician. Most people know me as a musician, but you know. So I'd get out of mode. So back around 2000, I'd concentrate on my art, my band. Then I'd have an inching for, because quite honestly, the most money I can make is with my acting, then my art and my music. So even though music is my thing, acting was like easy for, I could make money. I always been able to, not a lot. I'm not a star, but I could, hey, pay my rent and, you know, get street tacos and beer. I mean, basically feed my dogs. But yeah, and then it changed, then it got to the, around, I don't, the 2000s, this, that, and the other. And then all these casting women are gone. And there used to be like one or two women. Then it was like these dudes. He's like, there might be like, and it's the same casting rooms. That's what I'm saying. That's a weird thing. It's like, and they were small. Like I would go back, being out there 24 years, and I was struggling, I never did certain things to get ahead. So I had to, and I go into these rooms like, wow, I remember there was like one woman in here 10, 15 years ago. Now there's like 10 guys just cackling and belly aching and black, and at you, your eyes are too blue, his feet are too big. What? And casting couch, like, and again, I'm a heterosexual. I mean, nothing against, hey, I got, LGBT family and friends. Okay. So I ain't like, but I mean, I will know, just, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to let somebody worship my big, beautiful, girthy phallus. It's just not going to happen. I mean, I just, come on. I mean, you got there to be an actor and you damn near had to be a porn star. So I know if it's happening to me, and this one time I was at like a big, it was for, and I've said this before, and I shouldn't name, I don't want to name anybody, man, but it was like one of the big TV, product, like on TV channel, whatever. And it was for reenactment, I had to, anyway, this is like the late 90s, and call back, this, that, and you go, and then you get in front of the person. At the time I had an agent, and they kind of warned me, like, he's eccentric. And it was at one of the studios, I go into this, nice lobby, get called, like Charles Greer, and go in there, and I do my thing. And the guy, so he's like, I'm hearing something in your voice. I go, yeah, I'm originally from Tennessee. I mean, I'm a small town kid from like Smithville, Tennessee. I mean, like 2,000 people, maybe more now. I don't know. Small. Everybody knows everybody, and they're, canning, that kind of thing. And yeah, I hear something in your voice. Oh, that's unfortunate. Like, damn, like that's too bad. Like, bro, that alone is just, wah, wah, wah. Oh, you're one of the, oh shit. Are you circumcised or not? Like, that's what he said. That's the second thing. What? And it literally out of like, he hit a button. Like security came in, and they, like, two guys, like, grabbed me by my, like, dude, I'm leaving. They don't have to touch. And when I was walking through the lobby where these other actors, they're auditioning for the same role. I said something like, you guys, one of you guys are going to have to do the rub, or what do they call it? I was not going to leave, hey. And they, you'll never be back here. Yeah, right. I was back there. A couple years later, but they, yeah, he kicked me out. And I didn't even do, so I go home. I was living in Echo Park at the time. And my agent calls me. What did you do? Like, it's my fault. I didn't do it. What are you talking about? I've been working with him forever. Yeah, and she was admitting, yeah, but you didn't have to. I was like, what are you telling me? What are you trying to say? Well, don't let it happen again. And do that. And then she dropped me like a week later. Well, it's not working out. I need to generate. Is that, huh? And that happened, I think I got another bam just right off the, and it just kept on happening, not all the time. There was a lot of cool people too, but it's a thing. And I've had friends and associates, or what do you want to call it, that I don't know, they didn't come out and tell me, but it's just like, well, I mean, oh, you're doing good, huh? And so there was a lot of that. But then now, last round of auditions, when I was in like 2019, when one last shot. Yeah, it was, I mean, again, I didn't. I'm not going to say I had in the previous podcast. I've said some things that I probably shouldn't have said. But yeah, I was auditioning. I can't. It was a buyout. It was for a commercial for like a social media company. A couple of days work, 70 grand or more. You know, it was a lot of money for me. Um, for 2 days work. And so I had to learn this song, "Walking in Memphis." I hate that song, but I had to learn it. Not only learn it, but nail it so you act like you like it. See, I like this song. That's why I'm playing it. That kind of thing. And then the script, the sides. I had to nail this. So and I had about a week because I did the Zoom. I think first was Zoom or Skype or whatever. Or no, I had to film myself, email it to them, I think, or something like that. And then I had a Skype. Then you get in, call back. I'm in and it was a casting down on La Brea. If you're going south, it's on the right before you get to the 10. I forgot. It's nice. I mean, it's cool. It's big, a lot of shit going on there. And I show up with my guitar. I brought my Telecaster, and I'm in the lobby. And then they're like, okay, they call it, and they get a group of us, and then we're waiting outside of the casting office on they have benches. You're sitting there. And I literally was like, what are all these street hustlers? These guys, what are they doing in an audition? And they smell like, dude, when's the last time you took a shower? How much man sex have you been Huh? I thought farmers on gas station attendant. Damn. So I sat on the bench, and this dude sat beside me, and he's right up bed. He's like, wow, I didn't learn the song. I borrowed a guitar from a friend. Hopefully they won't know. This is my third one for this company. How many have you done? And I go, I haven't done any. I haven't. And he mentioned how much money he'd made. He's like, I've made like 300,000. This is my third one. Wait, how many? I haven't done any. And he kind of looked at me, and he's like, gave me this look like he was smelling a turd or something, and walked away, awkwardly, like 5 feet away, and just kind of like, everybody heard what he said, huh? And there literally was there was like a guy with like jeans with a rope tied around it, high water, no shoes, no socks, these shoes with no string, like a street urchin kind of dude. What's he doing at an audition at this kind of level? Now, granted, it isn't but this is at a nice casting place, and they're casting multiple things, and I saw celebrities there. It's just like, huh? I go in there, and of course I nail it. And these people, the executives for the social media, I couldn't believe who you guys are. The director was British. He liked me. He's like, look, let's just get this over. Charles is the one. And they pointed at he turned and looked at me, and they pointed at their crotch, like, hey, you're gonna. And I didn't even react. By then, I just grabbed my guitar, so I put. And he looked. And I don't know if he saw it, whatever. And they started fighting. Like, God, what are you gonna do? And I just walked. Put my guitar back in my case and walked to the time to get the door. Like, hey, what's going on? Where are you going? I said, I ain't gonna make that. I'm not the. And then he was like, yeah, Charles, what are we doing? No. No, it ain't gonna happen. So I was like, you know what? I'm done with this. Like, this is embarrassing. I'm embarrassed to be around, like even involved. Like what's happening here? It has nothing to do with talent, nothing. And I'm sure other people, men, women, whoever dealt with it, it's just like, what? This is my, kind of a dream, and my acting, my art, my stuff, and you have to mix in. What kind of people do that? And again, I've dealt with it a little, dude. The last round of, I just couldn't believe it. I mean, I was just, it was everywhere. And also I got cast. Maybe right around that time, I got cast in this vampire film, which I quit after one day because of said things that were, and people, like the people behind the scenes, the money people, line producers, whatever they are. And this was I'd heard them say, like, we spent 80 grand tonight on the production just in one day. And they had like food trucks and this, that, and they had crew, whatever. But this crew, I mean, again, I had my own like wardrobe, makeup. They had a bunch of everybody, I was one of the leads. But the crew didn't know anything. I mean, it was just like, I couldn't believe who, and some of them were like, yeah, this is my first film. And what? So my call time was 8:00, camera time 9. So I got there 8. I was in makeup, 9. They didn't get me in front of the camera till 5 a.m. Just doing this talk is what see, and it's 5 a.m. And I'm standing around in makeup. I mean, literally, I ended up laying down because it's like 8 hours. It was at night. Come on. I had to redo my makeup and hair because I fell asleep. I just wandered off and found a place. Where's he at? At the end of the night, I was like, man, you can't treat me like this. I want to get paid. I'm out of here. We'll pay. And they did. Come back tomorrow. We're going to, nope. I wouldn't do it. I'm not going to be treated this. I'm in the Screen Actors Guild. I mean, there are certain things, you can't leave me hanging for 8 hours, dude. I don't care. I'm not going to put up with that. I'm an old, I've been around. I mean, nobody knows who I am, but still, it's like, hey, in my little world, I'm not going to put up with that shit. I mean, I'm not going to, especially a vampire film that I don't want anybody to see, And I made the mistake. I don't read scripts. I mean, I'll read what my part. I don't know what it is. I just nail my part. I don't never read. You read the script? Oh yeah, no. I'm just dumb like that. I don't want to know. And a lot of times you're like, what? I don't. What am I? So I didn't read this said vampire script. I just knew my part. And when I got there and they're talking, I was like, oh, this is horrible. Like the dialogue is, even my dialogue was bad, but I kind of made it, gotta do what you got to do. So I'm sure there's others. Again, if I had done some of these things, well, you'd know who I am. At least like, oh, that guy was in, I mean, that's that you get to a certain level. In my humble opinion, what happened to me was every time I get to a certain level, I had to deal with certain things that I wouldn't do. I mean, that's just the truth. I mean, you think, oh yeah, I know it sounds like, an excuse. Like, well, he wasn't talented enough. So he'd make, no, it ain't that. And I'm not even the most talented. It's, because for one, and I knew I was a character actor. I'm not a lead. Look at me, my old haggard ass. I'm just a character actor, man. I'm like third fiddle. I mean, I'm not, Brad Pitt or whatever. I'm not going, oh, Molly Holly. No, I just want to be a working actor, man. Nobody know, it's easy. I like you work every 3 to 4 months, whatever. That's what my goal was from day one. I want to get I'm not, no, yeah, I'm not, so I'm not trying to come across like, yeah, well, I'm a lead. No. I've had lead people or dual it, whatever, but I always played like a bad cop or, pardon me, some washed up dude in a Hawaiian shirt or something. So I'm not getting, again, I just think if you were allowed, there must, and I've heard stories, I'm not going to say. And I've heard about people that, yeah, I'm assuming all the rumors are true. And one of my agents was like, well, good, it's worse for women. It always has been. I'm sure it is. I mean, I've heard stories of like these executives literally have a casting count, like a room, like between 3 and 5. He's busy, or she or whoever, Anything I've ever been involved in, whether it's that or people, the sad fact is, even anything you do in life, there are people that you might not even meet that might think of you just for a minute or two, but then I don't like it, whatever, and they affect your life, whether you want to believe it or not. These guys, and a lot of times behind it, they're weak people. I mean, physically, you could, but you might not, even when I was in bands, I'd have like, and some of these bands were like bigger bands. Like, why are you messing with me? Why, huh? You got a major label contract. Why are you dealing with, how do you even know my name? What are you so threatened about? What, just looking for something that, art world too. Oh, and another thing, even with bands and art world, these people I've a lot of times never met, or if I'm in front of them, they never said anything. Art world too. A lot of times the gallery owners will know, they've been, okay, yeah. Matter of fact, they know, like, okay, who the most talented, they'll come talking. He did. You should have heard what he said. I'll go, that's the one we're going to promote. I had a record label tell me, I was in Chicago back in the early 90s, and they're like, oh yeah, this is what you do is you got to pretty much dismiss the first round of people that come to you talking these things, talking about other bands, like, okay, right. And then there's these second, because a lot of creative people are more shy and kind of don't want to talk shit and manipulate. So they use like that, the word speak, and then they tell you how great they are, and their music sounds like shit, or they sound, a facsimile of another band. But it's sad. And people, again, if people saying this, it is, it is. I'm sure it's even worse. I'm probably lucky that I didn't have to. And I got roofied at a Hollywood event. I'm not going to say who, but yeah, drug out again. Why would they, when they called it is crazy. I don't even know if I can tell that story, but yeah, I was roofied. I got walked outside. They were trying to get me in a van, man. And I started fighting. They punched me and this, that. And people, there was a lot of people out. There was one of those lights spinning in the, this was a major thing at a side door. And when they called the cop, nope, the cops wouldn't come. So I was roofing. They thought I'd overdosed something. They called an ambulance. The ambulance wouldn't come. So they finally got a cab. They held down a cab, threw my ass in the back of a cab, and got me home. And I woke up the next day, huh? But they actually contacted the production company that was involved. We're like, oh my God, we're so sorry. They knew who we're talking. That same night, this is back in 2007, 2008, on the same Hollywood Boulevard street, whatever, another party like 100 feet away, a block, whatever. I forgot her name, but she was like an ice skater or something like that. And she got roofied that night. Same thing, probably the same, who knows? I mean, these guys came up to me and I was standing around talking to some cool people. There were celebrities around and people, hey, and these guys came up and they're like, oh, great, kind of start talking, and then, join the conversation. And one of them looked at me and goes, yeah, we need to bring you down a notch. I was like, no, okay, what, then about 5 minutes later, they bring around a round of like champagne, and the guy hands me some champagne. I drank. I was like, well, it tasted kind of funny. And then bam, like a couple, I was just like, what the fuck? They're walking me outside. Yeah, crazy. And even my my roommate, well, what did you do? What do you mean, what did I did? I got fucking roofied, man. But the company, somebody associated with what was going on, were like, oh, we're so sorry. They're kind of not friends, but you know what I mean? And they do crazy things, and they weren't going to hurt you. But they just, thought it was funny. See how you'd react being roofied or whatever they're saying. And they gave me some work. It's almost like a buy offer. Don't say anything. And I took it. I mean, I needed, hey. And I get it. Like, you're in a circle of, not everybody is, but not that. I mean, who, again, these were powerful people, but not, I mean, in that world, they're not, again, it's, how do you explain insanity? How do you explain crazy? You end up looking crazy. They know this. That's why people don't say this. Think about how many times it's happened. Nobody. So that was in 2007, 2008. I knew better not to drink open, keep your open cup, especially in a Hollywood. This was packed. You couldn't get in. There was a line to get. It was a fucking, an event. And how did I get there? I think I got in because I knew somebody that put me on the list, kind of thing. Yeah. And it's a small world. People know, again, people knew that and they were actually like, why would they do that to you? Who knows? One of the guys who helped me fight these off, it was on this reality show called Off Ice Road Truckers. I forgot his name. He pretty much saved me. And if it wasn't for him telling everybody else that, and across the street is like Borgner's or whatever, like this old school Hollywood bar. LA Times were having an event. So all the LA Times writers were out there, and like, again, a small world. I ran into one of them, and they're like, we're going to write about that, but they wouldn't run the story. Good thing they didn't, because I don't need that kind of. But yeah, I was laying off of Hollywood Boulevard. Like I was out, I had to pick 4 people. I mean, I'm 6'2", 180, and get him in the. I don't remember any of this. I remember waking up the next day in my room and all people were sitting in chairs and they had like wet rags on me. Like, why didn't you take me to the hospital then if you're so um so worried you're gonna let me die in bed, you know? Or maybe they didn't want to, they were scared because the ambulance, I don't, it was a weird situation. And some of those people never really, they thought, again, you don't, he's just crazy. He went out and did, I had just shown up. That's what I mean. People are like, yeah, you were doing great. What happened? All of a sudden, it's just, oh, did you go to the bathroom and do, no, I didn't do any drugs in the bathroom. I mean, so the Hollywood casting couch is a thing. There might not be a couch involved, but there might be a van or I don't know. It seems like it's gotten worse. I wonder if there's people that like that's their job is to like, hey, I'm sure there are. I'm sure there's. This is what I like, and I want you to. But most people don't want to talk about it. They don't want. Again, I'm not. I'm retired. I'm not doing anything artistic. I'm living a simple. Well, I moved back to Illinois. I'm living in like the Midwest. I'm doing my podcast, and I'm thinking about start rehearsing to do my solo music thing. Just me and my guitar. But my focus is this podcast to get it off the ground, get better equipment, start doing things I want to do. It's like therapy to me, telling these stories. People have been telling me like, dude, you need a pod. I've been putting stuff on YouTube forever. We did my old fake band Fister. We were doing stuff in like 2007, 2008, putting up, and I just never got around to it. I almost started in 2017. I almost started my podcast because I did, but I didn't want to be one of these guys in the cemetery going, hey, here's the grave of Dee Dee Ramone. I didn't want to coattail ride off fucking other people's misery or past or, wanted to do my own thing. Like, what do I have? I got me. What do you got? I got some stories to do. I mean, the well runneth over with the shit I know and the stuff I could talk about. Again, I don't like to, it is what it is. I'm not one of these like belly aching talk, but on YouTube, yeah, why not? So if you've had any of these experiences, comment. I doubt people will. And again, this is the worst podcast in the history podcast. They have an award for that. So I can, hey, look at me. But yeah, contact, leave a comment. Someone's going to contact. But yeah, I love y'all. I hope it doesn't happen to you, but you never know. You never know. Could be. You think about moving to LA. Nowadays, you don't have to move to LA. Damn, move to Georgia, man. You move to North Carolina. There's other places, Chicago, wherever. Hollywood's kind of dying. I don't know how, But I love y'all. Thanks for letting me rant. And again, if you want to check out my book, Rant of the Madman, Charlie Greer, just go to Google it. You can buy it on Amazon. There's a downloadable, whatever the hell. I love y'all. Be blessed. See you tomorrow.